sold a gun to a murderer so you could play video games?
Yeah, sure. I mean, if you spend all day shuffling words around, you can make anything sound bad, Morty. Here, check this out.
Rick and Morty, an animated show that kind of took over the adult cartoon space when it came out in late 2013, with everyone and their dogs seemingly talking about it. With its funny, nuanced comedy and its great character dynamics, the show has had some extremely popular moments, from Pickle Rick, where Rick becomes a literal pickle guy, if you couldn't tell, to weird blue aliens called Meeseeks that'll do whatever you tell them to. The show was great, and still is, but recently the latest seasons have been receiving criticism, with a lot of people saying the show's not as good as it used to be, or that it's changed in a negative way. So in this video, I'm going to be looking into this and trying to have just a little laugh along the way. Rick and Morty came out in 2013 on Adult Swim and was pretty successful right off the bat. The pilot for the show was perfect and let the viewers know exactly what Rick and Morty was going to be about. Now I know that sounds like pretty obvious, but quite a lot of shows get the viewers' hopes up and draws them into an idea to kind of just lose touch with what blew them up initially. Rick and Morty not only expanded and improved from the pilot, but did so pretty emphatically. The first seasons were universally accepted as being great and became more and more mainstream into 2015. This led to original fans of the show getting annoyed and concerned, which spawned the memes around needing a higher level of intellect to truly understand the brilliance of Rick and Morty. And if you didn't like the show, well then you weren't intelligent enough to understand the in-depth humour. How this sentiment ever came about, I'll never know, to be honest. I mean, nothing screams 2000 IQ like a very, very suspect giant jelly bean exploding for being a nonce. Yes, I have just said that. So if you're thinking of commenting on this video saying OMG, not another video essay about a literal cartoon, just know you're not on a high enough level of idiocy to understand this groundbreaking video.
Oh my god, Morty, what did you do? You killed the Simpsons, Morty!
No, I didn't mean to!
Oh,
No,
God,
this is
look at the baby one! Oh my god, Morty! You killed the entire Simpsons, Morty! They're a beloved family, Morty! They're a national treasure and you killed them!
I'm just a kid!
The show is known for its funny and wacky comedy and great characters. The show didn't really have any rhyme or rhythm to begin with and was focused on crazy and chaotic scenes. They went from exploring Anatomy Park, a theme park built inside of a person's body, to recreating the Purge on a planet filled with cat people things. But they also implemented serious enough ideas and quite deep moments into the show's core fundamentals. Season 1 episode 10 saw Rick and Morty incorporate a sort of timeline and storyline with the introduction of Evil Morty and the expansion of the Citadel of Ricks and the Galactic Federation. How a show that has some of the dumbest shit I've ever seen can implement emotional and serious moments so well has honestly got me stunlocked. Rick and Morty was huge and it seemed like it could only keep getting better from there. But for a lot of people, or so it would seem, it has done the complete opposite of late and has seen the show's ratings slightly decline.
Sure, I should be paying attention to the family's reunion conversation, but why is the wall a watered down sherbet color? Who purposely paints their walls like this? Thank God this is the last episode of the season. Maybe by season 6 I'll forget this atrocious hue.
Hi, I'm Citadel's new mascot, Andy, because this place wouldn't be home without Rick's and Morty's.
Except Rick and Morty never uses an ampersand. It's always the full word and. So I believe this is actually Ampersandy, who has somehow escaped the magic Citadel, home to various pins and or tellers.
Another one. Another one. Another one. And another one.
The first 4 seasons of the show saw a minimum rating of 91% on highly reputable source Rotten Tomatoes and averaged 1.5 million viewers per episode on Adult Swim. Seasons 5 and 6, however, saw ratings drop to 86%, with the average viewership numbers at around 750k. So, from the few sources I read into, Rick and Morty has evidently statistically fallen off. But has it content-wise? And if so, why? I think it's pretty widely accepted and most would agree that Season 5 was the worst season and Season 3 was the best. Of course, opinions will differ, but this seems pretty overall like a common acceptance. Season 3 had some of the greatest moments, from Pickle Rick, the Vindicators, Morty's Mindblowers, and a very questionable episode around Beth's childhood world called Fruipyland, which kind of looked like a seasonal DLC for a Borderlands game. The show had a perfect balance of just good old Rick and Morty craziness mixed with some great character development and lessons. Now fast forward to Season 5, and what's changed exactly? The season, I thought, had some great moments throughout. The first episode gave off some early season vibes, with Rick hosting a weird fish guy to atone for touching the sea, while Morty tries to impress Jessica with wine from an alternate universe, you know, pretty standard stuff. I really liked the episode and was entertained throughout. The hate seems kinda weird then, no?
stallion is already here.
is that?
Isn't
What
that
is
right,
that?
Morty? Or shall I say, father?
What is that? No, what actually is that? Nah, never mind, I hate Rick and Morty now, I'm not watching it again. Whatever that is aside, Rick and Morty has always been pretty weird and out there with its content, so why are recent episodes getting more criticism? I personally think it's down to the show's need to outdo itself and the need to keep on pushing the boundary. When Rick and Morty did weird shit before, they kind of used storytelling and jokes to make the weird things they do land. For example, like I used earlier on, Beth in season 3 was in Fruipyland and went through the whole weird ass arc where she went from trying to save her childhood friend to ultimately eliminating him instead. All the crazy things that occurred in that episode was due to Beth trying to escape herself and who she is. Her entrance and exit from Fruipyland shows her change as a person and how she views her life now. Compare that to whatever this monstrosity is, and it's just for pure shock value and weirdness. There's not really any reason behind it. Not that there needs to be, of course, it's just crazy sci-fi cartoon shit, but if you've been around since the first seasons, it may just seem a little bit forced. Another thing I've seen people complaining about is the shift in tone and the deeper exploration of characters and storylines rather than creative and funny scenarios played out. While this approach allowed for deeper exploration of the show's universe and its characters, it also led to an increased emphasis on convoluted narratives at the expense of standalone episodes and simpler, funny humour. Which, if you'll remember from earlier in this exact video, I said was important to the show's brilliance and progression. I've also seen a few people say that the show shifted from darker but balanced humour to a kind of nihilistic and constant self-referencing hellscape that you have to watch and can never escape from. And to those people I say, just calm down, take a breath, that may just be a little bit dramatic. I personally actually really liked season 5 and thought it was funny and just some light-hearted fun. Bar whatever this shit is. But it seems like it may have done some damage to the fanbase. Likewise with season 6, I also thought that was pretty great, with the development of Beth and her clone, an adventure with some interesting heroes, and a brand new epic supervillain introduced. So has Rick and Morty fallen off? The short answer is, statistically, I guess so, yeah. The show's viewership numbers have declined since 2019, and the show's rating also declined in season 5, although those numbers did pick back up again in season 6. Has the damage already been done by 1 or 2 questionable episodes maybe, or the tonal shift entirely? Will the viewership ever be what it was? Will this mean the OGs are crying themselves to sleep at night, or are they now cheering that their epic, highly intellectual little indie cartoon is relatively underground again? It's important to recognise that evaluating the decline of any show or creative work is subjective and dependent on individual preferences. Like, my friend really likes the episode around Anatomy Park, whereas I just can't get the idea of little people living inside my brain corrupting my nightmares out of my head. Rick and Morty has intricate plots and is always trying to push its own boundaries. The show has undeniably had a significant impact on popular culture and trends, and the amount of times I've seen Pickle Rick referenced or memed, I think he'll go down in history books. While some viewers argue that the show has declined, it is equally important to acknowledge the challenges faced by the creators in meeting fans' expectations and maintaining the show's unique identity in the mainstream. And if you still enjoy the show, don't let some neek on the internet tell you that a cartoon about a drunk senile old man is no longer worth watching. While Rick and Morty has statistically slightly declined, whether the show has genuinely declined in its content or has simply undergone an evolution negatively is a matter of personal interpretation. I personally think that the tonal shift and the way they've gone about making the show nowadays has changed and has put some people off, but I think the overall quality has stayed the same or if not improved. They've just ever so slightly switched up the formula, which I personally don't mind.
I'm okay with this. Be good, Morty. Be better than me. The other caller! I'm not okay with this! I am not okay with this! Oh, sweet Jesus, please let me live! Oh my God, I gotta fix this thing! Please, God in heaven! Please, God, oh Lord, hear my prayers! Yes! You, God! Not today, bitch!
What did you think? Did I miss anything? Leave a comment, let me know. Well, I hope you've enjoyed this video. I hope you have a great week, and remember, if you're going through some shit, nothing bad lasts forever, and nothing really matters, so just be happy. Well, in a bit.
Should be paying attention to the family's reunion conversation, but why is the wall a watered down sherbet color? Who purposely paints their walls like this? Thank God this is the last episode of the season. Maybe by season 6 I'll forget this atrocious hue.
Hi, I'm Citadel's new mascot, Andy, because this place wouldn't be home without Rick's and Morty's.
Except Rick and Morty never uses an ampersand. It's always the full word and. So I believe this is actually Ampersandy, who has somehow escaped the magic Citadel, home to various pins and or tellers.
Another one. Another one. Another one. And another one.